President Trump, though, is heading to the Buckeye State on Monday, and we have Mike DeWine with us right now. We'd love to go back to the Senate as a Republican from Ohio. Will we see you at that rally of the presidents in Cleveland on Monday, sir?
Oh, I'll certainly be there. The president's coming in, give our campaign a boost, and we're very appreciative of that.
I guess I ask you that just because I was curious about whether or not you think he can give you a boost. I know you were and have been endorsed by the outgoing governor of the state, John Kasich, who's been one of the president's larger critics. So how do you see yourself in terms of who you identify more with as a Republican? Is it John Kasich or is it President Trump?
Well, I'm a Mike DeWine Republican, I guess. But seriously, the real question in this campaign for voters is whether we go back. 8 years ago, my opponent, Richard Cordray, and Ted Strickland were in charge in Ohio. We had double-digit unemployment. We'd lost 400,000 jobs. We've come back. We've regained those 400,000 jobs, plus another 150,000. Some statistic that came out a couple days ago indicated that this past year we've gained more jobs than we've gained for the last 21 years. So we're moving in the right direction. What my opponent will do in this race when he becomes governor, he'll raise taxes. He's talked about increasing programs. We've totaled that up, and it would be $4 billion a year. And unlike Washington, we have to balance our budget. So when you spend $4 billion more than you have to raise taxes. And that's what Cordray will do.
He's also talked a lot about you and talked specifically, like many Democratic candidates around the country, about health care. Democrats really seem to think that's a winning issue for them in this cycle. We'll see. But he's come after your time as the state attorney general, saying that you are not a supporter of people who have pre-existing conditions, that you were opposed to insurance programs that protected those pre-existing conditions. Well, what do you say to that?
Well, that's wrong. They've spent about $10 million to put that on TV and try to convince people of that. But, I've voted 7 separate times when I was in the United States Congress to make sure that insurance companies had to cover pre-existing illnesses. My wife, Fran, and I have 8 kids. We have 23 grandkids. I'll tell you, anybody with a family that size understands medical problems, pre-existing illnesses.
Right.
And so there's no way in the world that I would do that. And my commitment to the people of Ohio.
But you did oppose Obamacare as the state AG,
absolutely.
And which had protection for pre-existing conditions in it. So by that measure, you would have been opposed to it. I guess that's the point, right? Well,
Obamacare had a lot of problems. And the individual mandate that very few people I have talked to liked it all.
Right.
The fact it was a tax, the fact that you don't have as much freedom to pick your own doctor, all those things are reasons to oppose Obamacare. But pre-existing, I have a long record of saying we need to cover that.
Give me the most important factor for you here the next few days. I mean, this is a state the president won, right, by 10 points. You've been a senator from this state before, a long career in Republican politics. But if the polls are right, you're down a few points. What's the most important factor for you as you close things out?
Well, we think, first of all, this is a dead heat. It's going right down to the wire. Look, I think, again, people need to think, do we want to go back to the days when Cordray and Strickland were running things? We've come a long way in the last 8 years. We're moving Ohio forward. We need to do that. We cannot have tax increases. A tax increase would be absolutely devastating to the state of Ohio. We're coming back. Our numbers are looking good. We've got a lot of good things that are going on. One of our challenges, we have a 12-point plan in regard to what we do with the drug problem.
Right.
We also have a real focus in regard to how we uptick the skills of some of our workers so that they can have the 21st century jobs. Those are 2 issues that are really important.
Yes, opioid crisis, a big one. We have to wrap it up now, sir. We do have a request into Richard Cordray's office for an interview, but Mike DeWine, we thank you for your time. We'll
thank you very much
on Tuesday. Okay.